The biggest shock of the night, though, their North London neighbours Spurs going down to Torquay by 1-0 at Plainmoor. Torquay, of course, managed by the former Spurs fullback Cyril Knowles. Choruses of "Nice One, Cyril," echoing round that little Plainmoor ground. And that was Chris Waddle with a tremendous snapshot from about 25 yards, hitting the bar. And appeals there by the Torquay players for a penalty. But the referee waved away the appeals. Still 0-0. Spurs battling away to try and get an opening themselves, but it really wasn't their night. A long shot there and a great save by the, well, a good save anyway by the goalkeeper. Got right behind it. These pictures, of course, have just come in, and there we have it. Derek Dawkins, 4 minutes from time, getting the winner. So let's hear from the jubilant Torquay manager, Cyril Knowles.
We stuck together, we battled, we followed each other, and what we got at the end, I mean, it hasn't sunk in with me, and I know it hasn't sunk in with the lads, but in the morning, I think they'll enjoy the moment.
You were here 22 years ago as a Tottenham defender. What did you say to the Tottenham manager? I
don't know what you can say, really. I was just... I don't know what David said to me, really. I mean, it was absolutely today, you know, and we come out on top, and I'll never forget.
They battled all the way, and probably in the end they might have deserved something for their efforts, which they set up for an excellent. I thought in the second half we were gradually taking over and making chances, but we couldn't stick it away in the net, and then the romance of the cup, they get one in the last minute.
What are you going to be telling your players for the next game?
Oh, well, we're going to have to play better than that.
Well, that was definitely Spurs, losing tonight by 1-0, but they've got time to make amends in 2 weeks. Well, if you think Terry Venables has got problems...
Then, just 4 minutes from the end, Derek Dawkins seized his chance. In a fortnight's time, Torquay have to travel to White Hart Lane for the second leg.
At the end of the day, it was just the icing on the cake for us. I mean, us winning 1-0, I mean, we're going up there, but we don't expect to win it like. But the thing is, we've done this down here, and it's probably the biggest thing what's ever happened to the club.
They certainly like leaving it to the last minute, that club. A look now at the weather prospects. The mixture of sun and shine.
Littlewood's Cup tie. Well, Plymouth Argyle sadly weren't so fortunate. They went down 4-1 away to 4th Division Peterborough. But for Torquay, their clash before a capacity crowd at Plainmoor really was a dream come true.
Torquay felt the jab of Spurs early. Chris Waddle strikes and the bar saves. Torquay had to get over a crisis of nerves. When they did, the surprises started. Glyn Riley heading and then appealing for a handball. The second half, and Tottenham came out battling, forcing a corner, but David Howell couldn't get it past Kenny Allen. The Torquay keeper kept his side in the running. Most of the play was now in their half. Midfielder Paul Allen unleashes another shot, and his namesake uncoils to shut it down. Tottenham was showing their £10 million worth of footballing talent in their building work. The Dutchman, Johnny Metgod, weaving together the ball and players for another shot by Howell. For Torquay, their new signing, Paul Dobson, was always exciting, breaking down the wing, forcing the game back into Tottenham's penalty box. The blow to an already surprised Tottenham side came 4 minutes from time. The scorer, his first this season, midfielder Derek Dawkins.
Everybody worked together today, and it was just a great team performance, really.
What was the feeling amongst the team?
Well, that we all had to work together. We knew that Tottenham were a great side, but we all had to work together, and if we did it together, we win with a chance.
What did Cyril Knowles tell you?
Well, basically that we weren't going to do it individually, we're going to do it as a team, and we played as a team and came out on top.
It was our cup final today, you know, and we come out on top, and I'll never forget it. And I think David was sweating a bit, you know, here and there at one or two situations, especially in the first half. But, you know, overall, we're all pleased. I mean, like I say, it hasn't sunk in yet, but
Next
in the
stop,
morning.
White Hart Lane.
Yeah, White Hart Lane.
Torquay did excellently. They battled all the way, and probably in the end they might have deserved something for their efforts, which they got. It set up for an excellent second game. I thought in the second half we were gradually taking over and making chances, but we couldn't stick it away in the net. And then the romance of the cup, they get one in the last minute.
What are you going to be telling your players for the next game?
Oh, well, we're going to have to play better than that.
The return match at White Hart Lane is in 2 weeks' time.
Well done, lads. We'll be shouting for you too. I've got some good news as well.
United beat mighty Tottenham Hotspur in the home leg of their Littlewoods Cup second-round match. Well, their 1-0 win confounded the critics, who'd said Torquay didn't stand a chance. Well, today tickets went on sale for the return leg at White Hart Lane in a fortnight, and a short time ago they were said to be selling well.
It was the sort of contest only the Cup can provide. Little Torquay United, who so nearly were dumped out of the league altogether last season against one of the finest football teams in the country. £10 million worth of talent in the Spurs side, and virtually every player an international. 5,000 fans, Torquay's biggest attendance in years, were there to see if United could repeat their success of 22 years ago, when they took Spurs to a replay after 2 late goals. Last night, the man who scored those goals, Robin Stubbs, turned out again, this time to present the match ball before sitting back to watch Spurs take the game to Torquay early on, with some fine breaks. This from Chris Waddle. 3 minutes later, the visitors came close again. Dutchman Johnny Method unlucky here. But Torquay settled as the match progressed, and as they began to put their game together, started to look dangerous. On the half-hour, Glyn Riley's header had the Spurs' defence in all sorts of trouble. But should Torquay have been awarded a penalty? Appeals for handball as it was scrambled away. But no, said the referee. Just before half-time, leading goalscorer Paul Dobson was unlucky not to pick up on the end of this back pass. Torquay should really have been in the lead by half-time, but they had keeper Kenny Allen to thank for keeping them in the match in the second half with a string of fine saves, the first from Chris Waddle. From a corner on the right, another close-range effort, this time from David Howells, well saved again by Allen. United, though, as they had in the first half, forced their way back. The goal, many fans will remember for years to come, was scored 4 minutes from time. Gardner's cross, Thomas fails to clear, and it comes to Derek Dawkins, 1-0. The police had to be called in to clear the pitch at the end, but it was all good-natured. The fairy tale victory was Torquay's, together with the back page headlines.
At the end of the day, it was just the icing on the cake for us. I mean, us winning 1-0, I mean, we're going up there, but we don't expect to win it like. But the thing is, we've done this down here, and it's probably the biggest thing what's ever happened to the club.
Torquay did excellently. They battled all the way, and probably in the end they might have deserved something for their efforts, which they got. It set up for an excellent second game. I thought in the second half we were gradually taking over and making chances, but we couldn't stick it away in the net. And then the romance of the cup, they get one in the last minute.
What are you going to be telling your players for the next game?
Oh, well, we're going to have to play better than that.
What do you reckon to going to White Hart Lane then?
It'll be Tottenham 0, Torquay 2. Dawkins and one other.
It was a night of misery for Torquay United after the triumph of their victory over Tottenham in the first leg of the Littlewoods Cup 6 days ago. The side came down to earth with an almighty bump. This, in the second minute, a dangerous cross from Scarborough winger Steve Adams on the left, just cleared by John Impey. A patchy first half came to life only briefly towards its end. This chance for Torquay United on the half-hour. Paul Dobson flicks on a ball from Kelly for Mark Loram to shoot. Then, from a corner on the left, leading scorer Paul Dobson was unlucky. The deadlock was finally broken in the 53rd minute. Dave Bowman, the scorer from 15 yards, going in off the goalkeeper's foot. 1-0 to Scarborough. Torquay did their best to get back. Glyn Riley unlucky with this late header. But nothing doing, and so Torquay were left to face the wrath of manager Cyril Knowles.
It was a disappointment to say that we'd won 4 games on the trot, and I was looking forward to tonight, but I felt it this morning somehow. There was something wrong when I got out of bed, and what it was, I couldn't put my finger on it, but now, thinking back, I know what it is. You know, we never got going, not as well as we can, and I was a bit disappointed, really. Well, I wasn't a bit, I'm just gutted, really, because I've been talking about getting people in to watch, and 3,500 came in this evening, and we didn't play. We didn't play as well as we have been doing.
Never mind, there's always tomorrow.
Well,
But our cameras were at the 4th Division match of the day, Exeter City versus Torquay United. Our sports editor, Peter Barraclough, was there.
Well played by Dean Edwards, under a lot of pressure. And a good try as well by Steve Phillips, but nothing that Kenny Allen can't handle. And this is real Devon Derby stuff at the moment. And a super ball through. Torquay, number 11, Paul Dobson. In the end, shooting wide under pressure. Well intercepted, though, by Keith Viney. And that's lovely work. Paul Williams breaking. And in the end, Allen has to dive low and hard to stop that. Fine work by the Exeter number 6. So McNichol with the free kick, and that's a fine effort. Knocked into the centre by Riley, but nobody there. Mark Gardner's shot carried away, but nobody on the end of Riley's cross. Gardner then with the corner for Torquay. Half an hour gone, still no score, and that surely is a goal. Jim McNichol on the far post. The ball knocked on, and he was perfectly placed, and you've got to say that Torquay deserved that. 31 minutes gone here. It's Exeter City 0, Torquay United 1. Corner then for Exeter. 5 minutes into the second half, not a good one. Batty with the overhead kick. Batty again, after getting that return. That's a good ball. And still in play. Phillips, though, in the end, robbed by the Torquay defence. Torquay not taking any risks at this stage in the game. Marker knocks it straight back. Kello's there, so's Edwards. Falls for Phillips. And point-blank save by Kenny Allen. So the best chance there for Exeter as the game ticks to an end.
We got 3 points, that was the important thing. Possibly could have had a couple more after we scored. But I'm just highly delighted that the lads have come through it.
It was a good goal, though, wasn't it?
Tremendous goal, really. I mean, it's a set piece, what we do. And I thought Jimmy Nicholl did tremendous at the end of the day, just coming on the second one. But it's all about scoring goals and keeping them out at the other end. And Kenny's made a good save for us at the back end. So overall, you know, I'm pretty pleased with the result.
Exciting match there. Well, it's been cats and dogs for the match at White Hart Lane. The victory has also lifted Cyril Nels' side above City in the league table.
6,000 plus at St James Park for the Devon Derby, Exeter's biggest attendance in 3 years. And they were treated to some promising attacks from the home side early on. This after 10 minutes. From a corner on the right, here's Sean Taylor with the header, but Lloyd was on hand to clear. But the tables soon turned the visitors' way. As Torquay settled, they began to get the upper hand. Gasps all round the ground after 14 minutes as the woodwork comes between Riley and a goal here. In 29 minutes, the visitors went one better. Mark Gardner's corner, flicked on by Lloyd, and big Jim McNichol's on hand to score neatly against his old club, 1-0 to United. Exeter were let off the hook again 5 minutes later. Watch as the ball comes now to Loram. Bang from the edge of the box, and Exeter keeper Shaw saves with his legs. Torquay lost Riley earlier in the second half. He was carried off after being tackled from behind by Marker, and later needed 21 stitches in a gashed leg. Although Torquay were equal to most of Exeter's late pressure, they had keeper Kenny Allen to thank for keeping this chance out. With 5 minutes to go, Steve Phillips pulls off a fine fingertip save. So Torquay victorious by 1-0. That win will leave them nicely poised for the big one at White Hart Lane on Wednesday night, although the opposition may well prove slightly tougher then.
We wish them well. And that win at Exeter puts Torquay in 4th place in Division 4, level on points with Leyton Orient, who are 3rd. Exeter now 2 points behind. And no weather now for the South.
And ended up losing 3-1 on aggregate. But Torquay didn't go down without a struggle.
It was the start Torquay feared. After just 4 minutes, Nico Clayson scores. The man who stiffened the resistance and gave Torquay back their confidence was Paul Dobson. He took on the defence to prove that scoring chances could be carved out. But most of the play was grabbed by a Tottenham team determined not to be denied. Torquay played fine football, lifting their game by 3 divisions. Mark Lorham there testing Clements. The 4th division side were always under pressure. Tottenham had the second goal made for them. A ball lost in midfield and a power cross from Sean Close connects with the diving David Cole. Nothing let up in this game, certainly not the rain. 2-0 down and Torquay were refusing to surrender. To be safe in the cup, Tottenham needed another goal. Tottenham built their attacks well. Ozzy Ardiles back heels to help set up a move for Clyson. Goalkeeper Kenny Allen kept that effort out. He was in great form. The 2,000 Torquay fans were still cheering and happy. Derek Dawkins nearly got them some consolation. Tottenham got their 3rd goal from a free kick. Clyson was left loitering unmarked.
I'm pleased. I'm very pleased that we went out and we played. I was a bit worried before we went out there because I thought we might have freezed on it, but we didn't. We got off to a bad start because they scored after about 4 minutes, but we held together. That's what pleased me more than anything.
They just show you the difference between the divisions. You can't make mistakes, otherwise it is in the net. Where in the 4th division, no disrespect to any of the boys there, but you do get another chance, you know, you don't get a second bite of the cherry in 1st division stuff. That was just the difference tonight. But the lads give a great account. Great account.
Never mind, lads. Better luck next time. Well, entrepreneur...
Tottenham's White Hart Lane in London last night with heads held high after a brave Littlewoods Cup second-round challenge against the 1st division side. Taking with them a 1-goal lead from Plainmoor, Torquay finally fell 3-1 on aggregate, but a fighting display in driving rain ensured the match was anything but one-sided.
For Torquay United, this must have been a nerve-wracking moment. 21,000 voices make a lot more noise than the 5,000 at Plainmoor in the first leg. But for manager and former Spurs player Cyril Knowles, the emotions must have been even more mixed. The ground echoing to "Nice one, Cyril" showed Spurs fans have far from forgotten one of their favourite sons, even though he was bringing the opposition to White Hart Lane and with a 1-goal advantage. Sadly, that lead was not to last long. 4 minutes and 3 seconds to be precise, as Mitchell Thomas's cross evaded keeper Kenny Allen's clutches and fell to the feet of Phil Lloyd, although Spurs' Nico Klassen claimed what looked to be an own goal. Spurs' second was unmistakably an own goal, with David Cole, who otherwise had an exemplary game, netting a diving header from Sean Close's cross, which would have been goal of the month in the right net. Don't think, though, that Torquay were by any means outplayed. They certainly created plenty of chances, like this one coming up for first-leg hero Derek Dawkins. A more gracious smile from Lady Luck could well have provided a real upset. But Spurs' 3rd goal, 10 minutes from time, really sealed the tie. And given that their lead was provided by own goals, Nico Klassen's easy finish was the only score Spurs made for themselves. The Torquay fans, though, had every right to be chanting their pride. The scoreline was not an accurate reflection of the fright that United had given Spurs.
I thought the lads put up a tremendous performance, and I think when you look through the tape itself, I think we had 4 or 5 good chances over the 90 minutes. I wish we would have scored one, especially when they got one. I think it would have made it very interesting indeed. But in saying that, I thought we might have crumbled after they got one, the early part, after about 4 minutes, but we didn't. We hung in there. Kenny's done magnificent tonight. He saved us on 2 or 3 occasions. But the lads give all, and the supporters have been great anyway, because we had a fair number down here, and they kept behind us. right to the very end, and I think we've all enjoyed it.
Now, Kenny not only kept you in it, but he almost perhaps scored a winner. Can you tell us about that, Kenny?
Yeah, well, I'll probably get a rocket off the boss for this. He doesn't like me kicking it down the middle of the park. I think it was just one of those things. It was an urgent thing to get it down the field, and I hit it, the wind caught it. I had remembered, of course, Pat Jennings did score here, so I saw Pat in the dressing room before the game. I thought I'd give it a go.
Shame, really, but of the 3 goals, let's face it, we did score 2 of them, so in fact Torquay actually won the game 2-1. At least we would have done if we'd stuck them in the right hole, but never mind, better luck next time. It was a good game, wasn't it?
Absolutely, at least they got there as well.
Although partly self-inflicted.
Ardiles, Gary Stevens, Samways, Mitchell Thomas. In low chance, oh, and in, yes! John Impey couldn't keep it out. Nico Klassen claiming some credit. Tottenham's central defenders have certainly got to be alert, because Loram and Dobson are causing them some concern. This is Ardiles at the other end. Well played, close. Oh, own goal this time without a doubt. It's David Cole. It's David Cole. How unlucky can you be? And Allen. And Klassen! Well, it may be all over now. The relief echoes round the ground.
To them. And Spurs faced a similar situation against Torquay at White Hart Lane tonight. Torquay United's 1-0 victory over Tottenham was described by their manager as the biggest night in Torquay's history, that first leg win. Possible overstatement, which can be forgiven because the Torquay manager was the left-back in Spurs' 1967 Cup-winning team. A full-back who could score spectacular goals.
One Spurs player on the edge of the wall is Pratt, and it could well be a little touch is going to give Chivers the chance of a shot. Knowles, in fact, beauty! Oh, beauty!
Cyril Knowles against Manchester United almost exactly 14 years ago. The kind of goal from Knowles that inspired the phrase and ultimately the song, "Nice one, Cyril." An enthusiastic reception for Cyril Knowles tonight, looking slightly different these days, but looking forward to the prospect of a big night for Torquay. Spurs against Torquay, John Watson, the commentator.
Well, the evening is certainly not a very nice one on which to welcome back Cyril Knowles. He's now 43, and if the hair is a shade of grey, the personality is still as colourful as the Spurs fans remember him. He's rightly proud of what he's achieved at Torquay in just a few short months. And if tonight's rain-swept conditions have kept down the crowd here, they won't spoil a very special occasion for this Torquay team. It shows one change from the first leg. Glyn Riley was injured in Saturday's victory at Exeter, so the number 9 shirt goes to Mark Gardner, whose cross as a substitute led to that goal by number 7 Derek Dawkins in the first leg. And Torquay's defensive system means that number 8 Phil Lloyd plays as an extra central defender. Spurs, meantime, are without Chris Waddle and Clive Allen, both injured, so 21-year-old Sean Close partners Nico Klassen up front. With Johnny Metcott also hurt, the 2 substitutes are both 19-year-olds, and the youngest of this new sprightly Spurs crop is in the starting lineup at number 4, 18-year-old Vinnie Samways, who made such a promising home debut against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Referee is Brian Stevens from Stonehouse in Gloucestershire. Torquay United in yellow shirts and white shorts, 4th in the 4th division, a goal up at the start of this second leg. Gary Stevens for Tottenham. Number 11 there is Dobson, and number 10 Loram for Torquay, 2 of the strikers. And here's Gardner, left-footed player, wearing number 9. In by Kelly, and an offside flag there. Samways will take the left side in midfield. This is Ardiles. And there are 1 or 2 puddles on the pitch, so back passes will have to be weighted correctly. Good long kick by Ray Clements. Klassen was there. So too is Allen. Close in the centre, so is Hodge. And Allen almost in again. Ardiles, Gary Stevens, Samways, Mitchell Thomas. In low chance. Oh, and in, yes! John Impey couldn't keep it out. Nico Klassen claiming some credit. Klassen following it in, but the Torquay United defender, John Impey, trying to keep it out, could only help the ball into the net. The low cross here by Mitchell Thomas. Over it comes now then. Well, I would say that looks like an own goal by Impey, but Klassen may claim he got a touch. What it proves is that Spurs are level on aggregate, 1-1. Here's Klassen. And Torquay's dreams certainly starting to disappear. Here's Impey, now Allen. Oh, and Samways. Now, can he play the right ball? There are two waiting. Klassen close. Hodge is also there now. Klassen! No! Well, that was a chance for Nico Klassen. And a swift break by Vinnie Samways. He found the space on the left-hand side, played the right ball in low to the near post, and Klassen, who's scored many from there in the past, just flicked it wide on this occasion. Sliding tackle by Gary Stevens, which seems to have caused a little ill feeling. Referee wanting a word with Tom Kelly, the Torquay United left-back, who felt that Hasselgrave was sorely treated there. Indeed, the free kick has gone to Torquay, and John Impey has made his way forward on the far side. Might just be the extra man they need in the box there. Cole is up as well. And Cole flicks on, and Dobson! Clements saved with his legs, but that was a real let-off for Tottenham, and a clear indication why Paul Dobson is the talk of the 4th Division just now. He is so dangerous round the 6-yard box. He may feel there he could have finished better, because Cole, the centre-half, flicked that on perfectly, but Dobson's instinct took him there. Ray Clements saved with his shins. Now, had that gone in, it could have been a very different picture. John Impey, 33 years old, the club captain. Samways, close, made room nicely there. Oh! Hit the post. Sean Close. What a good strike. Spurs have lost their wages at present, and Torquay may be finding theirs. This is Tom Kelly, and Loram away from Mabbott. Good effort, and well held. It's a slippery ball, and that was a snapshot by Mark Loram, and the sheer experience of Ray Clements ensuring that there was no slip there, because had there been a rebound from Loram's shot, then his partner Dobson might well have been in. Here's Gardner. And Tottenham's central defenders have certainly got to be alert, because Loram and Dobson are causing them some concern. This is Ardiles at the other end. Well played, close. Oh, own goal this time without a doubt. It's David Cole. It's David Cole. How unlucky can you be? Ardiles, lovely build-up actually. Sean Close drives the ball across, and Cole puts the ball in his own net. With 10 minutes to go to half-time, that's the last thing they needed. And the cross came from Sean Close, but there's no way he'll get anywhere near claiming that one. That was the classic own goal, the diving header by David Cole. Oh, well played by Mitchell Thomas. And well collected by Kenny Allen. Gary Stevens held back by Tom Kelly. A word there from referee Brian Stevens, although there hasn't been any bad behaviour in this first half. It's going to be a free kick to Tottenham, and Gary Mabbott goes forward to lend height to what's a very short Tottenham attack these days, in the way of inches. And that wouldn't find anybody, whether they're tall or not. Here's Stevens. Allen. Oh, good running by, who else but Ossie Ardiles. Close has come short. There he is. Oh, good save by Allen. Here's Hodge. Corner, it already went out. That was a very good save, because Klassen put a foot out to distract Kenny Allen from Close's shot. And the man who really set the move up yet again, this wonderful 35-year-old in midfield, Ossie Ardiles. Close. Just watch here as Close shoots what Nico Klassen does. He sticks a foot out to try to divert the ball, and the goalkeeper did really well to get across. And this is Samways for Tottenham. That's Allen away on the right. The two front runners are there. Klassen! No. Good defending, actually. I think it was Lloyd that got in there. Loram picking up Dobson's flick. And Mabbott to Ardiles. Allen just expecting the ball to run there, and Kelly wasn't going to make that mistake. Here's Hazelgrave. Allen. Ardiles. Close. Free kick to Spurs. Loram on Thomas. Now this is Ardiles, just trying to open it up. Torquay have stuck resolutely to the task. Those three central defenders have blocked the alleys that Tottenham are trying to play through. But Ardiles, another supreme moment of skill to Mabbott. And here's Samways. And Klassen surely. Good save by Kenny Allen. Well, it was a 35-year-old that set that up, Ossie Ardiles, and it was a 35-year-old that stopped it in Kenny Allen from Nico Klassen. Hodge. And it just won't go through that crowded penalty area, and when it did, There's a foul on the far side. Ardiles spoken to. Well, Klassen had the chance there, but how quickly the veteran Kenny Allen closed down the space to make that very good save. That kick from Allen has gone right through. And whenever that happens, you think about that moment 20 years ago when Pat Jennings scored against Alex Stepney. Well, Pat's here tonight, actually, watching the game, and might appreciate that Kenny Allen nearly did the same thing, although Ray Clement's a shade too wise to let it happen to him. Gary Stevens with the header out only as far as Lorem, then against Fairclough. Dawkins. Torquay are making a genuine fight of this. And Tottenham can't relax. Oh, Impey. Tackling back there was close. And also Samways. And Klassen may get away here. There's only Close in the middle at the moment for him. And there he is! It's come back off the bar, I think. It was Sean Close who got the header in. Whether Kenny Allen got a touch as well, I'm not sure, but it seemed to hit the bar from Sean Close. It all happened so fast, I don't think the players realised quite what had occurred. Nico Klassen got away, Close came in, and I wonder if the keeper touched it. It certainly hit the bar. So Torquay are still in it. Here's Hazelgrave. Oh, Clement's mistake, and Dawkins so close with the most experienced man on the field having problems with the slippery ball, and Dawkins nearly a hero again. Goodness me, there are about 7 of them in that crowd jumping. This is Dobson. Spurs are just over-elaborate in some ways, and at the same time being made to fight every inch of the way by a Torquay team who've risen to the occasion. This is Lee Sharp. Hazelgrave. And here's McNichol. Oh! Well, even Clement seems to have lost the place. Look at that throw. Cole. Fairclough's header out. Here comes Sharp. Chance here for Dobson. And away by Mabbott. We've got a cup tie on our hands. And Tottenham aren't enjoying it at all. Well, what an extraordinary 5 minutes. And Ray Clements, usually so immaculate, was in the thick of the action there in a quite unusual way. Well, Allen, now, free kick. Instruction quite blatant, and referee Stevens has gone to his notebook here. He's going to book Phil Lloyd, I think. Phil Lloyd in the book, and you'll see the yellow card in a second. A real air of uncertainty going around White Hart Lane at the moment. And Allen. And Klassen! Well, it may be all over now. The relief echoes round the ground. And Nico Klassen, who I think will claim the first goal tonight, certainly gets that one. And if he gets the 2, then that's 7 for the season for the top scorer. But they won't see him score one, which eases the tension more than that. 3-0 on the night. 3-1 on aggregate, and a substitution by Tottenham. Vincent Samways finding the pace now in the closing minutes of his second game in a few days, goes off and is replaced by Paul Moran, who himself is making his home debut here tonight. He's never played before in the first team at White Hart Lane. 19 years old, a wisp of a lad who plays on the wing. His nickname is Sparrow. But here's Dobson, and Torquay is still chirpy. Cole. Hasselgrave. Well, Tottenham haven't been beaten here in the First Division since last January. 14 consecutive league wins at White Hart Lane. And in those circumstances, Torquay can feel that this has been a job decently done on behalf of the 4th Division. Even though we're now in stoppage time, and on the night they trail 3-0. This is Lee Sharp. Bear in mind, they operate on about a 13 or 14-man squad, Torquay, and Spurs, although not all their talent is available tonight, have built their squad at a cost of something like £5 million. Lee Sharp against Paul Moran. Corner. Well, this would only be a consolation now for Torquay, but they do have a last chance, perhaps. Impey heads it on. McNichol. Spurs are through to the 3rd round of the Littlewoods Cup. Nico Klassen, who when he gets back to the dressing room will surely claim the first goal, and certainly got the 3rd. But it wasn't as easy as the score may suggest, and if the result goes to Tottenham, then much of the honour tonight goes to 4th Division Torquay, who in one particular spell in the second half threatened to make life embarrassing for their 1st Division hosts. Cyril Knowles will be proud of his team, but the final score here, Tottenham 3, Torquay 0, and on aggregate 3-1.
Good business from Spurs on the field.
With you, because we've had a marvellous season. I think it's just a bit of icing on the cake for them. I think this is just something else, and I think it was like the Tottenham down here and going to Tottenham. Some of these lads will never see that, you know, in the career, the big stadiums and things like that, and I think it's nice for them to go there and compete and look at the lads that they see on the television, because I'm sure, you know, the lads are keyed up, they know what they've got to do, and keep my fingers crossed everything will go right on the day.
United have reported fully fit, except for key striker Paul Dobson. He'll be having a late test on his injured knee, but he's virtually certain not to play. But Coventry have no fewer than 4 key players injured. Dave Caldwell has promised to put his problems behind him for the afternoon. He now faces a disciplinary hearing for bringing the game into disrepute, as well as next week's one-match ban.
You know, this really is one almighty year for anniversaries.
Right from the kick-off, they made the better of dreadful playing conditions, and in the 5th minute, troubled striker Dave Caldwell was inches away from what would have been the goal of the season. Coventry's only real first-half effort came from their captain and central defender, Brian Kilcline, but United veteran Kenny Allen was a match for him. The Gulls' captain, John Impey, must have woken up yesterday morning still unable to believe just why he clattered into Phillips to give Coventry the penalty which turned the match. Kilcline took no risks in the mud and simply hammered the ball into the net. Just a minute later, Coventry's cup final hero Bennett crossed from the grass to shoot, and finally for Regis to use Madonna's Hand of God technique to help him end the move on Torquay's excellent run in the cup.
After the interval, the sand dunes got heavier, but there was no holding Torquay's David Caldwell. With just over 30 minutes left, the Coventry breakthrough as Phillips is felled by John Impey. Kilcline converted the penalty and the holders' nerves were steadied. Within a minute, they'd made it 2. There's just a suspicion of handball as Regis scurries the ball home. The cup holders were safe, but they were glad to see Torquay heading back to their own sandy beach.
And the near 4,000 Torquay supporters must have wished they'd done likewise. This was a match dominated by defences, with this header from Wolves striker Nigel Vaughan one of the few highlights. In general, though, there was far too much use of the long or the high ball, with some pretty dire results. On the rare occasions that Wolves penetrated the determined Torquay backline, Kenny Allen was his usual gymnastic self. For Torquay, troubled striker Dave Corwell gave an aggressive performance. This effort was only just wide. But Wolves' best chance came late in the game. It was started by skipper Ali Robertson, rumoured to be hot favourite for the vacant Exeter City manager's job. But in the end, Kenny Allen was again far too good for the header from Andy Much. Final score, Torquay 0, Wolves 0.
Advantage over Exeter City, whose fans have got used to the consoling thought that Newport County already looked destined to fill the bottom spot, which leads out of the Football League and into the GM Vauxhall Conference. Well, it was all Torquay in the first half. This was the 8th of 9 corners they forced. 3 minutes before half-time, and a goal for the man who got the only goal of the game, also from a corner, when the sides met at Exeter, Jim McNichol. Well, immediately another corner and almost another goal. Mel Gwinnett busy right up to the half-time whistle, and the Exeter keeper was in the thick of it again after his cup of tea. No joy for Torquay, though, just several near misses. Well, the crowd was getting a bit restless, but a second goal from the home side did only seem a question of time, and United looked certain to complete the double over Exeter. But Mel Gwinnett was again in the right place. He took a knock from Paul Dobson in the process, but the equaliser came out of the blue with only 5 minutes left on the watch. It was a free kick to City near the halfway line. No apparent danger as Roy Carter took the kick, but with Torquay keeper Kenny Allen off his line, a looping header from Sean Taylor ended up in the net. Well, Torquay should have made the game safe long before that. 2 points thrown away, really. But they can still go second in the table if they win their games in hand.
Let's hope they can, and bad luck to the losers in all the sport.
And that looked like handball, but the referee says play on. And a rather nasty collision there. The referee not happy at all, and I think he'll have a stern word to say to the offending Hartlepool player. And Paul Baker gets his marching orders. That's a good turn by Mark Loram. And a chance here. And a brilliant goal. Andy Pearce, what a superb strike. And Hartlepool in complete disarray there. Some good work, though, by Loram. The ball across the face of the goal. And what a super strike there by Alan Pearce, right in the corner. Hartlepool then, with his far post cross. Kenny Allen just manages to get a hand to it. And the first real danger there from Hartlepool. But Allen up to the challenge. So can Torquay get the initiative again in this match? That's Loram trapping it, leaving it for Kelly. Far post ball, Milton with the header. Well, Torquay certainly not playing well in this second half against 10 men. And that could be a goal, yes. Tony Barrett puts it home, and you've really got to say that Torquay deserve that. They've really not played well in this second half. And Hartlepool taking the initiative. Kenny Allen absolutely furious with his defence. So Hartlepool hit back. It's now Torquay 1, Hartlepool 1. So a real problem there for the Torquay manager Cyril Knowles. But if United can start